So here we are in 2014. The Chilean fruit is in. This is Malbec. And that's a small batch. And then I have this over here for, so the Malbec is 72 pounds. Then I have some Cabernet Sauvignon in the front. And then the back one there is Carmenere. Those are each 288 pounds. And then here's Merlot. Just came from the shipping place. And we're going to crush this today. So I got 864 pounds, almost a half a ton. Should make 2 barrels. Well, yesterday we finished the crush. I didn't really have time to do the filming of it, but here's the end result. I have to clean this up now and break these boxes down. So we had 48 boxes, 18 pounds, and now they're all sitting in the fermenters. I can show you that next. So here we are now in the wine cellar, and this is the result of the crush. We got 3 barrels. They're about 24 gallons each, and I have these ice jugs in each of them. What I'm trying to do is keep them cool. This is called the cold soak. And this will keep it cool for a couple of days. I'm going to leave it for about 3 to 4 days. And it extracts the juice, the color, and hopefully some flavor. And this is the extra. This is the 8 gallons each of the... All right, the next step is to create this solution of enzymes. These help break down the pectin and release some of the color and the flavor of the skins of the grapes. So I've created a solution where 1 milliliter, this is the total amount for all these batches, and I'm going to add it by milliliter. So the first one is 14 milliliters. So I basically take in, this is a 10 ml. Measure down. Okay, that's 10. So that's 10 plus 4. Okay. So the next step is once you add the enzymes, there were sulfites added yesterday to help the browning. Or avoid the browning. It's an antioxidant. And now it's important to macerate and mix it up. It has to be mixed thoroughly. So it's not fermenting yet. No yeast has been added. It's just sitting here, and it's doing a cold soak for a couple days. The idea is to keep it cool enough so yeasts don't start fermenting. And it has a nice chance to get all the water-soluble color extracted and the flavor. And you gotta pull it up from the bottom. And I'll do this for all batches, these vessels. And I'll do this a couple times a day, actually. And then we'll move on to the next step, which is bringing it up to temperature and bringing the yeast, introducing the yeast and the nutrients. Well, it's been 4 days since I have been did the crush, and now we're doing the inoculation of the yeast. So we got some preparations here. This is some nutrient, and these are the packages of yeast. I have 3 different yeasts for 3 different batches, and what I'm doing here is I'm hydrating the yeast. So I'll take you in another area where the yeasts are actually hydrating, and I'm slowly adding a little bit of grape must, unfermented grapes, to the mixture to acclimate them to the target temperature. I have a temperature, the yeast is right now at 95 degrees, and the target for the must right now is about 58 degrees, so they can't be within 10 degrees Celsius. Otherwise they'll shock the yeast. So what I'm trying to do is acclimate it slowly by introducing a little bit of must every 10 to 15 minutes, and that will bring the temperature down slowly. It's a long process, but it's important to keep the yeast healthy. Here's here are the vessels, and this is the yeast preparation. I'm taking the temperature as we go here. You can see it's very active if you look closely. It's just with one little introduction, and I'm about to add another one. So here's the must, and I'll add that. Sorry for the camera, but here we go. I'm trying to do two things at once here. Okay. So just give it a little stir. And this will bring the temperature down slowly. And they'll eat that up. And let's see what the temperature is right now. So turn this on. 88. 88.7. Alright, I have 10, at least 12, 13 degrees to go. It's probably another half an hour to an hour. We'll check it again in 15 minutes. Okay. Okay, we're back. It's been about a half an hour. We're down to 73 degrees, and that's within the 18 degree range of 58. So we're going to do the pitch. And we'll just take this off. And it's nothing more than just pouring it in and stirring it up. Okay. Give it a good mix, so I'll put the camera down. So today we're adding the nutrient to get this to finish fermentation. So it's called, I use two products, Fermade O and Fermade K. I wanted to just mention one thing about making this volume of wine. This can produce a lot of carbon dioxide, which is not good for a basement, especially with burners, gas burners and pilots, so you don't want those going out. So what I do twice a day is I run this fan. This fan ventilates the area, and I have a circulation going, making sure that the heavier carbon dioxide laying on the floor is stirred and ventilated from the basement. So there's enough CO2 being produced here that can cause asphyxiation, and it's important to ventilate. So that's one thing I'm also doing. Today we're going to do a delistage. I'll explain what that is, and then I need to add some nutrients, some ammonia, not ammonia, what is it? Nitrogen, organic nitrogen. And the nitrogen at this phase, it's about 1/3 done fermenting, and you can see each one of these has a nice cap. That's actually a cap that's formed, and it's very hard. So I just punched this one down. As you can see, underneath there's a lot of fermenting juice. So all the carbon dioxide is pushing all the skins up to the top and forming a cap. And we have to punch this down twice a day or 3 times a day, as many as we can actually, without going too aggressive. We stir it up. Now we start to smell some, what they call reductive smell. The reductive smell is this, I'm going to pause 1 second and turn the fan off. This reductive smell is this sort of what you smell when you hear, you go by, in the summertime you go by a pond and you smell that stinky water. That's what can happen at the bottom of these fermenters. The yeasts do their job, they're multiplying, they also die and go down to the bottom. And there's a lack of oxygen, so we need to oxygenate. It's basically adding an oxidation to it. But oxygen added to this will blow off a lot of the stinkiness, and you want to keep that at a minimum all the way through the fermentation process. So what I tend to do is
I actually add oxygen, oxygen gas, a couple of times a day if I can, and then I also aerate as much as possible. And then the third option I do is delistage, which I'll explain, which is a lot more effort. It's difficult for me to actually do it properly in this home winemaking environment, but I'll show you my version. So here's my oxygen setup. I have a canister of oxygen. You basically get these at Home Depot or any kind of store like that. And I have this valve and I think it's a 2 or a point, I can't remember if it's a 2 or 0.2 micron diffusion stone. And it spends about 2 minutes under the cap oxygenating. So most of that bubbling you see is oxygen, not the main fermentation.